And now at 6:05, state lawmakers will meet today to break down how state troopers may have falsified traffic ticket data. And this all comes after a scathing audit revealed 7 years worth of some bogus tickets.
7 years. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Schuler is now live outside of the legislative office where this hearing will take place. So, Olivia, you have numbers for us this morning?
Yeah, Wendell, that's right. Some concerning numbers. An audit that was published says there was falsified traffic tickets from 2014 to 2021. Now, today, state lawmakers are holding a hearing to try and get some answers. The chair of the Public Safety Committee, Senator Gaston, says drivers should not be exposed to unfair practices and they should have equal protection. In response to the audit, Governor Lamont is now calling for an independent review. He selected an independent investigator, U.S. Attorney Deidre Daly, to figure out how and why traffic tickets were falsified. The published audit was put together by Ken Barbone, a project manager of the Connecticut Racial Profiling Prohibition Project. By law, it's required law enforcement agencies have to collect information on traffic stops to comply with the state racial profiling law. Now, today's hearing will be at the Legislative Office building at 10 o'clock this morning in room 2E. We're live this morning in Hartford. Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Olivia,